Hello and welcome to Microsoft Hates Greg. My name is Greg Deckler, and you guys have been hounding and hounding me for it. So, yeah, today we're going to be talking about the binomial distribution formula. I can't even say that with a straight face. Obviously, that's not the case. I had a guy, Nick, reach out to me about I had put this together. This is when I was going through and recreating all the Excel functions in DAX, right? And I'd created the ones for binomial distribution and the cumulative version and the inverse, right? And he specifically reached out to me regarding the inverse function and trying to get it to work in his situation. So we went back and forth in email on that. And then he let me know that it's like, oh, well, the population I have is 178. And it's like, okay, that's a problem. And the reason that's a problem is that the fact function, which gives you the factorial of a number in Power BI in DAX, right? The fact function is capped at 170. So it only works for values between 0 and 170, which since I'm using the factorial function, the fact function in my DAX, that became a problem, right? Now Excel handles this really well. So this is basically the setup. He had 178 for the population. He's got a 0.5, which was like the third parameter. He's divided by 2, so it's 0.25. I think that's the alpha, maybe. This is the percentage chance, right? So it's your population, your percentage chance, and then your alpha value. I'm not going to go into if you want to know all about these kinds of things, you can look it up. You can ask ChatGPT or you can ask Wikipedia, whatever. And my video is just lagging. Oh well. Hopefully the audio is okay. Well, anyway, so what is one to do in this day and age, right? Well, ChatGPT, right? So that's what I did. And it didn't go as well as I expected, really. Um, So I asked it, I said, hey, is there a way to modify the DAX following DAX code to handle n numbers greater than 170? The fact function in DAX cannot handle numbers larger than 170. And here's the formula, right? So, and it comes back and says, oh, yeah, no problem, Greg. I just used the log.gamma function and, can get around that problem. Except that doesn't exist. Unfortunately, there is no log.gamma function in DAX. Please try again because you got to be polite. um, So it's like, okay, so it's like, oh, you're absolutely right. It doesn't have support the log.gamma function. So to get around it now, what we're going to do is we're going to write this function, this Stirling's approximation, and use the function, which unfortunately also does not exist. I mean, maybe when UDFs, user-defined functions, come about, maybe we'll have the function. Maybe it has future knowledge. I don't know, but maybe I'm not as polite. I'm saying there's no function in DAX. You're absolutely right again. DAX does not support custom functions like function blah blah blah. So it says final working version. No final work. It is confident. It is 100%. This is the answer, right? No fact, no function, fully DAX compliant, except that it's not. So the problem with it is, what in the heck is this, right? This lookup value where it's a column and then another column and then another column. So it's like, but there's no table reference. So that doesn't work, folks. Okay, it is not fully DAX compliant. But when I was testing this stuff, these were the only errors, right? This was the only error that was in this formula, right? So what I did, of course, is I fixed it, right? So you can fix it, and I went out and posted this in the quick measure gallery and everything. So now we have binom inverse approximation, right? It's a very accurate approximation, I can tell you that. So I've got little sliders here for n and alpha and p. This is out in the custom quick measure gallery right now. And so here's the formula, and then you can fix it, right? I just fixed it by using a max XX and filter. I maybe could have used lookup, but I don't like using lookup value, to be quite honest. I think it's a garbage function in my opinion. I just always revert back to, hey, look at that, the no calculated approach, of just using the simple, why learn lookup value when you can just do the same thing with max XX and filter, which you're going to be using all the time anyway. So anyway, I fixed up a few other things within it, made sure it was all properly formatted with spacing and the way I like to, name my variables and things like that. So yeah, it's out in the quick measure gallery. I think it's pretty cool. was able to get there. And what's even cooler is I didn't do my normal lame, like, first thing is like I'm gonna go put in a bunch of effort and research into it, which that's always been my habit. It's my first go to as I start, searching around the internet, for solutions and things like that. This time I went straight to ChatGPT, and it got me there, but you know, it's not 100% all the time, people. And sometimes this is why you need to learn at least the basics of DAX, right? At least the basics of DAX, which of course, shameless self plug, my new book, DAX for Humans, does a really good job of teaching you the basics of DAX in better than any other book that's out there on the market, in my opinion. And am I biased? Yes. So there you have it. Take it for what it's worth. So anyway, so yeah, it's pretty cool. I was able to get there with ChatGPT. So yeah, hopefully this will work. And as you can see on the Excel, right, it returned 84 with 178, a p of 0.5, and an alpha of 0.5 divided by 2, which is 0.25. And if we go here, this is exactly 178, 0.25, 0.5 returns 84. So it may be an approximation, but it's a really, really accurate approximation, apparently. So there you have it. That's all I had for this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.